Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. Happy Sunday. I hope you all had a better week than I did. We'll get into that in a second, but today's video I'm going to be doing a little Q&A, a life update slash just like I asked for some more personal and deeper questions on Instagram. And yeah, I've actually did a few of these videos. I did one last summer which I went into a lot of things that like I'd never really spoken about. I always feel like Q&As are boring because I'm like, who wants to sit and listen to me speak for that long? But that video was actually like one of the best received I've ever had, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it and I like sharing with you guys and oversharing sometimes. Here we are, back again for another personal Q&A. So first thing that I feel like I should just touch on quickly because it happened recently, is kind of a big deal. We got burgled the other day, which was not a fun time. Hopefully I ended up getting this video up in time, but my laptop was stolen, so there were a few days where I didn't have a laptop. I ordered one on Prime like to come really quick because I was like desperate. I have an essay due on Friday and an exam that day, so it's not a fun time for me at all to be not having a laptop. It was a little bit of a gutter because my old laptop, I was like so proud of myself for saving up to buy it, and like I'd had the previous one for like 6 years. And then in December, I finally was like, Nayna, you deserve it. Like, we make editing so much easier. And like, I feel like I've worked hard. I bought that laptop in December and then she got burgled and stolen. It was just so annoying, and it was a little bit scary because obviously the flat was locked. So that was kind of worrying. We've had the locks changed and we were out on like, we just went on like a quick walk. So we didn't like see the people, they didn't make a big mess or anything. So like honestly we got like very lucky, I think, and it could have been way worse. Yeah, still not a fun time, and that's just kind of how my week has been. Yeah, but I have a new laptop now, which is so annoying because when you get a laptop you want to be like excited about it, you know, but I was like literally so annoyed looking at this laptop. I was like, fuck off, kind of like I wasn't even excited about it. It's just we're over it now. I actually am sleeping fine. Like the first night I didn't sleep like at all, I don't think, and then the next night I was so exhausted I slept like a baby. So I had the locks changed, everything is fine and I'm all good. I had a couple people asking me if I am still with my boyfriend. I am, and obviously I'm in Edinburgh, he's not, long distance, so obviously I'm not posting anything and like it's locked down, so maybe that's why it like appears that way. Do you plan on having children, and slash thoughts on having children? Really would love to have children. I'm obviously only 21, so this is like very far in the future for me, like the plan that I have for my life. I don't want to have kids young. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of the coolest like life-changing things that I get to do. I would really love to have children. I've been thinking kind of about, sometimes I think about like where I'm gonna live when I have kids, and just I don't know, I just can't really imagine my life without that. And like obviously if I couldn't, I would love to adopt, or maybe even just adopt anyway, you know, like I just think it would be so important. Like that is something I really envision for myself. So what is something you wish you could change about yourself? Not physical. I think I would want to be more like self-assured, and like I think I would just want to know like who I am a bit more, and I think that like comes with being like my age. When I was like 19, 20, I was like, oh, I know who I am, like I have it all sorted out. And then now I look back and I'm like, that was kind of naive of me, because now I feel like I have like no idea. And I guess that's the point, it was like you work it out. But that's like one thing at the moment which is just so difficult, and just like I don't know, it's not that fun. Probably that, but I think that comes with time, so I guess maybe not. I probably also want to be more confident and just like back myself more. What are your deeper aspirations or goals for your life? Wow, deep. I think when I think about it in like a grander sense, outside of like a nice job and like things like that, I would like to like, I think animals is like a big thing for me. Like I'd love to make like a difference within like an animal cruelty, and yeah, just I feel like the way that as a population we treat animals like should be way better, and like that's something I'm like very passionate about. So I'd love to like make a difference in that. I think I want to be like happy and healthy. I want to eat loads of fruit and vegetables, and I know these are like silly little things, but I genuinely do think that they, I don't know, make me happy. Yeah, I just want a lot of nature, a lot of like, I want to travel, I want to see the world, I want to like experience other people's cultures. Obviously growing up mixed race, I've been able to like see a whole other culture and then like, you know, juxtapose it with like the other half of me, which has been so interesting and really fueled my interest in like other cultures and like seeing the world outside of where I am and outside of my little bubble, because I think that's so so valuable. Do you sometimes feel guilty for being happy / successful, etc.? Definitely. The first few nights I spent in this flat, I felt so guilty because I was like, this is such a nice flat, I don't deserve it, and like I pay for it myself, so like it's like I do deserve it, I guess. And yeah, I definitely feel guilty about those things sometimes. But then when I'm like having a bad day and I feel really sad, I am just like jealous of everyone else, thinking that they're really happy. And I think no matter where you are in life, it's like really important to check yourself. And like I'm just really proud of like my YouTube channel and the podcast and everything, and it's just been, I don't know, I feel like I got really lucky, and yes, I like earned it, but I feel like I was really lucky to be in a position where this was like all possible for me. I sometimes do feel guilty about that. I feel guilty about so many things, like a lot of my like family are immigrants, and you know, if my bar hadn't like taken the risk to like move to the UK, like she did that to like give us a better life and things, and I often feel guilty about that. Like I think it's really easy to feel guilty about everything, and I try and like aim my content and just my life ambitions and goals around like bettering the world and like making it a better place to be. I research charities to donate my money to, things like that. Like I don't talk about that because I don't want to like ever look like I'm doing it to tell you. That's like really important to me, is that if I am able to afford it, like that's what I want to do. And I think I just try and focus on the bigger picture, I guess. Favorite podcast recently, I've been loving Goes Without Saying with Steffi and Wing. They are hilarious and so smart and insightful, just amazing podcast. I really recommend. You girl, I have a podcast if you're interested. I think it's a fun time. Are you scared of running out of time, as in that you only have 80 years or so left? When I turned 21, I honestly was like, fuck, I'm so old. I am like a proper adult, you know, like it was really scary. Is this angle weird? I don't know if, maybe that's better, I don't know. Yeah, I was so scared. I never want to grow up. I don't want to be like old. I don't want to lose time. But I think that's such a silly mindset of like productivity, fitting in as much as you can, making your life like the craziest life you could possibly live, like doing all these things. And it's like, just maybe wake up each day and focus on that day, be happy in that day, in that moment. And that's enough for me. Yeah, I don't want to lose time. I don't want to, you know, have regrets. I'm so excited for like the future. I feel like the best is yet to come, especially with COVID and everything. It's really difficult to like watch time pass. I actually am not that scared anymore. I feel like in your head sometimes it's easy to think that like, you know, when you turn 30 or like 40, whatever, life's over, but like you still have so many years, so many years. And I just think it's one big journey. So this is what I'm telling myself in my head. But yes, in answer to your question, I am scared. You always know what you're going to do in life. Is it all right not to know what I'm going to do next? I have no clue what I'm going to do next. I have so many ideas. Like I'd love to live in Australia. I would love to live in like a Scandinavian country. I'd love to live in Spain. I feel like my Spanish is decent. I'd like eventually really want to have a flat in London. I would want to like travel. I want to work at different like organization. I don't know, I have so many dreams. I'm a Pisces and definitely identify with like being a bit of a dreamer and just having like all these plans and ideas. Like when I'm daydreaming in the day, like when I'm doing work or something, it's always about the future. Like I'm always thinking about like what I'm gonna do in my life and like just fun ideas. Like that is so me. And I think I go through these phases where I have like a decent plan where I'm like, okay, so after uni I'll move here, then I'll do this, then I'll do this, and then blah blah blah. And then a month later I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I've changed my mind. So I think I just need to make the decisions when the time comes and focus on like doing the work that will facilitate them. Like I want to get a good grade in my degree so that I have options for, you know, if I ever want to do a master's or I want to apply to a certain job, I want to have those like the option to do that. And like working on my YouTube channel, I feel like I'm learning so many different skills. It's something that I love. It's like a passion project, I guess, and it gives me like a space to do like creativity, because obviously I do a very like mathsy subject, so I don't really have that much of that in my life outside of YouTube. Yeah, I like try and work on my mental health so that as I get older and grow, I'm in like a really good place with that, and that will help me do whatever job or career or dreams and stuff that I want to do. So yeah, I don't think it always has to be about like, well, I'm gonna do this job and then I'm gonna get married at this age and have kids at this age. And firstly, like society puts such a pressure on us to want those things, and like if you don't want them, who cares? Like don't have them. Like it doesn't matter at all. Do whatever it is that feels right for you. I think it's so alright not to know. In my head it makes more sense, because then you can make the decision when like the point comes. I think it's cool to like think about ideas. I don't know, just have like a vague idea of like where you would like to see yourself, but like no pressure. Did you ever consider quitting YouTube? When I came back to uni in January, I would not know. Okay, firstly, the answer is probably no. When I first came back in January, I had like quite a few hate comments, messages. For some reason I like sometimes read through, I have this video, it was like called Growing Up Mixed Race, and the comments all held for review, but sometimes I'll look through them and they're just like so horrible, so many of them, and I know that's not you guys. I don't know, I feel like the community that we've like created is so happy and like wholesome, and like I love you guys so much. But then sometimes like these comments really do get to me. I have like the thinnest skin possible. I have like no layer. I take everything so personally, and I'm just not good at like taking it on the chin, I guess. Like everything, like I read every comment, every DM. Yeah, so I don't know, I just see it all. I have to stay away from like, there's like websites, if you didn't know, where people will write like hate forum kind of things, and I know they're out there, but like I cannot look at that because I think I would break down. But yeah, just when I like have those moments where I'm like looking through those and I'm just not, it's like silly because one small comment will like be so magnified in my brain, when really it's just like one person typed that like in the spur of the moment and they don't even care. I would never quit out of like that sort of thing, but it does get really scary sometimes, and it's just like sad, and I don't know, just because I'm not like, I'm so sensitive, so it affects me so much. And like I was like crying on the phone to my mum at the beginning of the semester, and she was like, you just have to put like your mental health first, and like if this is making you upset and sad, like you can't do it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I love it. Like, yeah, it was just funny. But how do you make financial plans? Do you still have a job apart from YouTube? So I did have a job from I was like 16 until like 20-ish. I had a job in first year of uni, and I always had jobs at home. I was a lifeguard, fun job, I'd recommend. It was a good time. But yeah, I don't have a different job anymore after, oh actually in the summer of first year, like right before summer 2019, I had a job working at like an activity camp, like 9 to 5, 9 to 6 kind of thing, and so that was my job then. And then when I went back to uni, I didn't go back to my old job, and I just like kind of like focused on YouTube and like focused my energy there. And yeah, when I was in first year, I didn't have like, I wasn't friends with my flatmates, and I essentially lived alone, so I had like so much time to just devote to like work and YouTube and sport and uni. And then when I moved into second year, I was like, I want to let one of those things go, because like I'm not gonna have time for like my own mental health and like happiness and like friends and stuff. Yeah, I was in like a really privileged position to be able to like have YouTube be my job. Literally means the world to me, and believe it, because I would obviously have a different job if I didn't do this, so big love. In what ways do you connect with your Asian roots? I think this is like difficult for me personally, because like I live in Edinburgh, I don't have like any family here. Even when I was in London, I don't have any family there other than like my immediate family, so this is difficult. I feel like this is definitely something, when I graduate at some point, I want to go on a trip to India for like months and just like travel and like see as much as like I can, and I think that will be very like transformative for me. How do I connect to my roots? I think it's like so difficult. Like I genuinely think this is really difficult to do, especially when you don't have like family accessible. I guess like my Asian friends is a good way to like I have a friend Shreya who's also Indian at uni, and we always like talk about things from like our childhood and like just foods and things like that, and it's really nice to just like say something and be like, you get it, like you know it, what it is, because obviously with like a lot of other people that isn't the case, and it's always like you have to explain, and like obviously that's so great, and like it's good to like chat and talk about these things, because it's so important to like have friends with like loads of different backgrounds, just because you like learn so much about the world and it's so cool. But I think giving yourself that like time and space to hang with people who are your race is really fun. Yeah, it's kind of refreshing. I think I don't have like that many Indian friends here. My best friend at home's Indian as well, so we have that in common. Friends, I guess. What was your biggest insecurity growing up? I guess there's like physical and then like mental or like personality insecurities. Physically, I feel like there's no point me saying that, because like no one's gonna get anything from it. But I can think of loads of things that I was when I was younger. I like used to just, I feel like my relationship with food was so bad, and I just didn't, I don't know, still working on it now, but like love the way that I looked, and like I just didn't, yeah, I just kind of hated my appearance and my body, etc. And I feel like it's sadly very common, especially in like young girls and guys, to be honest, and like everyone goes through it, I think. So, and then personality wise, I think my biggest insecurity is that I'm boring, or that people think that I'm just like not that interesting. Actually, sometimes we'll get this on YouTube as well. Like a lot of the creators I watched give like such incredible advice, and like they are so wise, and they say things I'm like, wow, like that's so, like I have learned something. And then I just feel like I never say anything like that. Or that I just feel like my advice giving skills aren't that good. And sometimes I worry that like maybe you don't take that much away from my videos, other than it just being like a pretty like 10-minute vlog or something. I don't know, but like I feel like the thing with insecurities is that they are a little bit like uncalled for. Is that the right word? Like I know in my head that's probably silly to think that, but like I still think it. How did you get over the feeling of wanting to be white? I think this is like only something I've like done in the past year, and definitely still working on it. Like there's still scenarios where something will come up, or like just something random, and I'll be like, I wish I didn't have to say this right now, or like I wish this was just like, I don't know, not my problem, you know? I think how I got over it, like it's so, to me anyway, it's like so exciting and like interesting to have a whole other culture to like explore and be a part of. Like when I go on this trip to India when I graduate, like I really immerse myself and just be, I don't know, like I think it's going to teach me a lot, and like I want to understand more who I am through that trip. I've been to India once, but I was only 8, so I don't remember it that well. And yeah, I think it's just embracing those aspects of your religion. Like there was always like foods we would eat at home that I'd be like embarrassed about or something, and now I'm like begging, like those are my favorite foods, you know? Or we would say a few words in Gujarati growing up, and I would always, you know, obviously like change and like just like pretend that I didn't do that if I had friends over, and now I'm like, that's cool, like I should tell them what that means. And it's just like an interesting aspect of me, rather than like something to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. I think the issue for me is that I hate being like the center of attention, kind of. I don't know, counterintuitive because I have this YouTube channel, but like I don't like when a conversation like stems around me. So when people ask me things, even if it is just out of curiosity or interest, which is great, and like I think that's really important and like nice with your friends to do that, I sometimes am like, I don't want to be different, and like that's something I'm working on. That's like what I've been working on for the past year. Actually in the past year, like one of the biggest changes I've seen in myself, or like something I'm most proud of myself for, is that change in like my race, and just being like way more comfortable and like confident in it. I feel like I've come quite a long way in the past year. That's like probably the biggest thing I've been working on like mentally over the last year, that I've seen like real results from. Yeah, now it's like something that's cool to me. So do you think everything in the universe is interconnected? Literally 1,000,000%, definitely. When I was like younger, I didn't believe in like God. I didn't believe in the universe as like a bigger thing. I didn't believe in any of that. I thought we were just like beings walking on the earth. And that's such a difficult way to live your life, because you're like, what is the meaning of all of this? Like why is this like what's going on, you know? Like you feel like everything's meaningless. But yeah, I definitely believe in like things being interconnected. I believe in karma. I think what you put out, you get back, whether it's good or bad. And I think the universe gives you things to teach you lessons, and everything that happens is because it's meant to be happening, and it's meant to be. And the world's like a horrible, horrible, scary place, which is the bit that like I struggle with a little bit, because I'm like, but then why does these things happen? So I like, it's difficult with like small daily things and feelings and things that I look back on and as being like really difficult. I think like, wow, I'm so glad that happened. And then yeah, like retrospect and like the perspective you gain from those events, like it all seems to like add up to something bigger. So yes. Okay, I'm gonna finish on a really lovely one, which is, how do you know who your true friends are? And I think this is such a good question, and my answer is who your true friends are. People who have your back, people who are excited for your successes, people you are excited for their successes. But my main thing is like people you hang out with and you leave feeling like energized. You feel like, oh, that was so good. Like they feel like they boost you up. I hate when you hang out with someone and you leave feeling drained. That's so not fun. And I get like people have their own stuff going on and that you as a friend want to be there for them, and like that can be draining 100%, but I think those people where you routinely hang out with them and they leave you feeling worse about yourself or about life, it's not a good time. And friends are so important. Friends are like so important. So okay, that is everything I'm going to be answering today. Hopefully that was vaguely interesting. I always get so scared these videos are going to be boring. If you watched all the way to this point, I think you'd like my podcast. Little plug, but yeah, I'll put it on the screen if you're interested. And I hope you have a good week. I love you all so much. Thank you for all your support and love, and you mean the world to me. So yeah, love you very much. I'll see you next Sunday.